Here it is, the announcements you've been waiting for as it pertains to Social Security, including retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, and SSI beneficiaries. I have all the details and what you want to know right here in this video. Let's get right into it. Alright, so as we know, recently there's been a number of different reports and headlines coming out specifically talking about the low-income and fixed-income beneficiaries. We also know that as of recently, there have been a number of different reports coming out specifically talking about inflation. Well, in this video, I do want to talk about a new report that was just released specifically talking about low-income and fixed-income beneficiaries of all the benefits I mentioned at the beginning of this video and how all of this is wrapped together to actually impact beneficiaries. And at the end of the day, how all of these low-income and fixed-income benefit programs need to be fixed and how they actually have some major problems ahead of them because benefits are simply not high enough and how all of these programs have actually been lacking for many, many decades. As a result of that, I want to get into it and share this with you because, as I've always said before, this is pertaining to your money, your benefits, your lifestyle, your future, everything about you and your fixed-income benefit. Therefore, it's very important that we watch all this stuff very closely because it directly impacts you and your benefit as well as your bank account and your livelihood going forward. Very, very important. Anyway, let's get right into it. But really quickly before we do, if you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below the video. It's totally free to do so, and so you can stay updated every single day with all of these updates that continue to hit the wire as this stuff is being announced. There's a lot going on right now. Things are changing very rapidly. I'm doing all the research as your one and only daily advocate. I boil it all down into the shortest videos I can possibly produce right here for you. I deliver them a few times each and every day so that you can get a grip on what is actually going on. You can keep a pulse on what is actually going on, and you can stay tuned with what is actually going on that's going to impact you every single day. So again, a lot of stuff is changing rapidly right now, but I want to help you out in any way that I possibly can, as well as make sure that you're getting any money, benefits, programs, checks, stimulus, raises to benefits, anything else like that that may be introduced, and anything like that that may be announced that we can take advantage of, and so you're staying updated. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. And let's get right into this. All right, so let's talk about this report because this is very important to understand because there's a lot of things about these fixed income programs that maybe as a beneficiary, you're looking at it and thinking, yeah, I'm getting my benefit, all is good. But is it really good? Well, I think we need to dig in a little bit deeper because there's a lot more going on behind these fixed income programs that are showing beneficiaries in many instances are getting the short end of the stick, which is not a good situation, especially right now during this high inflationary time that we're in right now. Benefits need to be raised above and beyond what they typically are just to keep up with the annual cost of living, right? The cost of living that continues to go up on a monthly basis, right? We're all experiencing this right here, right now. I'm sure you're experiencing it every time you step out of your house and you go out to buy anything, whether it's gas, a rug, towels, paper towels, food, literally anything that you're buying these days is much higher than it was just a few months ago. Therefore, fixed income benefits are simply not keeping up with all this. And as we've talked about before, the depletion of your purchasing power, right? So the $1 that you had a year ago bought you way more a year ago than what that same $1 buys you today. That is depletion of purchasing power. And that's actually going to show up here in just a second with the information that I want to show you as well as other people, high-profile people, analysts, experts, people besides me are also saying the exact same thing about fixed income benefits and this high inflationary time that we're currently in. So I want to lay this all out for you because I do know that a lot of you here in the community are fixed income beneficiaries. I like to share all this information with you so that you can keep a pulse on what is going on and how all of this information is impacting you and your benefits, as well as how these programs have not really kept up with current times. In fact, these programs have been behind the times for many decades, which is actually really sad. As a result of them being behind the times and not keeping up with everything going on an annual basis, with everything going on like that, as a result of that, like I said earlier, unfortunately, fixed income beneficiaries are getting the short end of the stick and actually are getting benefits that are far less than what your benefit should actually be right now. It's kind of a sad situation. Anyway, With that being said, I do want to bring my wife Corey in. She's going to read an article to you. If you have a couple minutes, I'd highly advise watching and listening to this. This is very interesting. This is an article and a lot of information right out of the Senior Citizens League. A lot of this information is revealed by them. And you're going to find very clearly here that these programs are simply not keeping up with the times, and ultimately benefits should be raised by hundreds upon hundreds of dollars just to be where they actually should be right now versus what they've actually done over the last couple decades because of everything going on. So just a simple change to these benefits years and years ago would actually result in nearly $600 more right now. That's a lot, right? So we're talking some serious money here. By the way, that is per month, $600 more per month, right? So we'd be talking like what? It's like $7,200 a year. Yeah, we're talking some big money. Anyway, let's have Corey come in right now. She's going to read this article to you. Only takes a couple minutes, but it's very valuable. A lot of really good information here, and I want you to make sure that you're staying updated with this stuff, as well as you know this information that's coming out, as well as where I'm getting this information from, as I talk about in some of these videos. And I want to make sure that you're hearing it right from the source. So with that being said, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, so they can also get a grip, and stay tuned on what is going on with these benefits, because not all is well with these benefits. Things should have been changed a long time ago. And then of course, go back and check out some of the other videos right here on the channel. Almost 2,500 videos right here for you to enjoy. All right, Corey. With that being said, you take it away, and I'll catch you again later in the next update. All right, Corey, it's all you, and I hope you enjoy this article. All right, see ya.
Social Security recipients could see biggest cost of living increase in 40 years by Megan Haney. Social Security recipients are poised to receive the biggest cost of living raise in over 4 decades as inflation rapidly erodes the buying power of retired Americans. The Senior Citizens League, a nonpartisan group that focuses on issues relating to older Americans, estimated on Wednesday the adjustment could be as high as 8.6% in 2023, based on April inflation data, which showed the consumer prices soared 8.3% from the previous year, close to a 40-year high. The annual Social Security change is calculated based on the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, or CPIW, which jumped 9.4% over the past year. Should Social Security beneficiaries see an 8.6% increase in their monthly checks next year, it would mark the steepest annual adjustment since 1981, when recipients saw an 11.2% bump. The Senior Citizens League previously predicted the COLA for 2023 could be 8.9%, but the headline inflation figure has subsided slightly since then. The Social Security Administration will release the final adjustment percentage in October. The estimated figure could still be subject to change and ultimately hinges on whether inflation has actually peaked or will continue to rise. While economists pointed to Wednesday's figure as evidence that inflation may be subsiding, they noted that prices rose more than expected and are still near a record high, suggesting any decline could be painstakingly slow. Excluding gas and food, which are more volatile measurements, so-called core inflation actually rose more in April than it did in the previous month, alarming some experts who called it a worrisome development. One does not get the sense that this is going to provide any relief to households experiencing a loss in purchasing power and to policymakers who will attempt to restore price stability without causing a recession, said Joe Bruselas, RSM chief economist. The average Social Security benefit in 2022 jumped by 5.9%, which amounted to a monthly increase of $92 for the average retired American, bringing the full amount of $1,657 the Social Security Administration announced last year. But soaring inflation has already eroded the entirety of the increase, according to the calculations by the Senior Citizens League. Social Security recipients have lost 40% of their buying power since the year 2000, according to the new research conducted by the Senior Citizens League. That's the biggest loss in buying power since the beginning of the study in 2010, said Mary Johnson, a policy analyst at the Senior Citizens League who conducted the research. Although Social Security benefits have climbed by 64% since 2000, thanks to cost of living adjustments, typical senior expenses through March 2022 have actually grown by more than double that rate, 130%. In order to maintain the same purchasing power as there was 22 years ago, Social Security would have to increase by $539.80 per month. The Senior Citizens League has pushed Congress to adopt legislation that would index the adjustments to inflation specifically for seniors, such as the Consumer Price Index for the Elderly, or CPIE. The index specifically tracks the spending of households with people aged 62 and older.